Welcome back. It is Thursday night. It is all influencer wrestling time once again.
The following is a triple threat match. Making his way to the ring from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 158 pounds, Stephen Joyce.
You know him, you love him. Stephen Joyce making his way down to the ring for triple threat action, kicking us off tonight. We have a chromatic range of competitors in this triple threat to kick us off. Stephen being put down by our recently dethroned Soul Cloud champion Abel Therron. They're going at it again tonight. Stephen and Abel, this time the purple and blue, is joined by red as Renee's Crimson rounds this out for a three-way. Each of them trying to gain a little momentum, gain a little positioning, moving in to Overboard at the end of this month.
You ready for this? Let's go.
And his opponents, first from Avalon, weighing in at 150 pounds, The Dream.
And here he is, getting back on his feet, the Dream Abel Therron. Challenged to a friendly contest by Stephen last week to help get him back on the wagon, Abel proved that he has not lost a step despite no longer having that Soul Cloud Championship around his waist. A very flippy, athletic match between these two last week, but the powerhouse, the towering Renee's Crimson, looking to play spoiler and cement his dominance going forward into that all-important Overboard match. One of the last competitors to be knocked out of that battle royal that earned Sparks that shot. Renee's a competitor who has come within fingertips of that clout glory time and time again. If he can last out and be that final competitor in the Overboard match, he has a guaranteed path to that championship. All style, but plenty of substance is Renee's Crimson. Far from the only powerhouse we have on our cards tonight. We have tag team action later on as the Deadly Doo-Woo look to continue their impressive win streak they have been on. They are going to run right into RBFS once again, as well as an as-yet undisclosed third team. And we kick things off. Renee's taking a moment to size up his contest as Abel manages to just hover there over with those. The man Gravity forgot. Just hovering above the ring ropes there for a moment. Renee's not letting go of Stephen, absolutely chucking him around the ring as Abel waits for his opportunity and runs around, double kick to the side of Crimson. And over he goes. We have our two smaller competitors seemingly taking a moment to each chip away at Renee's, but triple threat rules apply. Any alliance is going to be very short-lived. wrenching the neck of Stephen Joyce. Renee's trying to get him down for the submission, but Abel not going to let that happen. Knee right, shin, sorry, right to the throat of Renee's. Stephen shaking that off on the outside, taking a moment to recover, and vaulting over the top rope. The athleticism of Stephen Joyce very much on display. Though Renee's, that size is not an indication of any degree of or lack of athleticism on his part either. Definitely ducking out of the way of Stephen's strikes. And over the top rope comes Abel Therron, excuse me. Renee's slowing it down, taking it down to the mat, working those limbs of Stephen Joyce, wrenching back the wrist, and crashing down double knee strike onto the spine of Stephen. Ren taking a moment to recover, not really paying huge attention to what was going on in the ring, but didn't really need to. Only a 1 count, still very early in this match. Therron goes through for the roll-up, but Renee's is right there to play spoiler. And neck breaker by Stephen Joyce, and look at the height on that double kick by the Dream Abel Therron. Abel still dominant. Stephen going for the pinfall, Renee's right there again playing spoiler. Ren rolling out to the ring, weapons of course legal in a triple threat, and Ren's right there with the kendo stick. Stephen noticed though, head scissors takedown, got that weapon away from Renee's. Oh, and we see it, there's the hat slam by Stephen Joyce. Ren is down, is this going to do it? Kicks out at 2. Kicks out at 2. Excellent opportunity there by Stephen, but the Dream Abel Therron just too resilient. Stephen rolls out of the ring, takes that kendo stick with him. Giant punch there by Crimson. Therron rolls to the ring and out of the ring, and Stephen going for the back of Crimson, taking opportunity and charges, sends Crimson off the edge. And look at that, spinning right around, expert curve on that dive, taking down Therron on the outside. Therron taking a moment to hunt for a weapon himself, and he's got the steel chair out. And Stephen, having absolutely none of it, saw what Therron had in mind and playing spoiler himself this time. Giant lariat there by Crimson, who's standing dominant over his 2 smaller opponents right now, but we'll have to get one of them back into the ring to finish this. As mentioned earlier, all 3 of these men will be featured in the Overboard Royal Rumble match later on this month. Though who the eventual winner of that match will be targeting is very much still up in the air, as both our Soul Clout championships will be defended tonight. Our new Soul Clout champion, Steve Sparks, defending against the point-sized pugilist, Avric Brightmoon. We got a 2 count, and Renee's kicking out at 2. Stephen almost putting him away. Avric Brightmoon versus Steve Sparks for one of our Soul Clout champions tonight, and giant tombstone there from Renee's, but Therron not letting that play through. Could be Sparks, could be Avric that the winner of one of these Royal Rumble matches goes through. And on the other half of the roster, Glix versus Battlestar Galactica is our main event tonight. Battlestar finally getting enough room away from the torment of Metrix. Will she finally get the opportunity that has been stolen from her for so long? Or will Glix once again hold on to that Soul Clout title? A baseball bat. There is nothing friendly about this beating now. Therron cracking that bat down over the ribs of Stephen Joyce. A rarely seen vicious side by Therron. laying that bat into Renee's Crimson now. Renee, though, dug down deep, only got that 2 count. That is a message sent by Abel right there. And plants Renee's. Very, very good ring awareness there by the Dream. Did not try to go for the pinfall, excuse me. Saw Steven coming back up. Took the opportunity to capitalize. Steven trying to see if he can steal a pin, but Therron right there. Renee's smartly playing possum, duck through, saw that drop kick coming from Steven, and now though back up. And waiting for his opportunity, he's got Steven back up, and over we go, and down plants Steven Joyce. But Therron's right there. Therron looked like busted open there. Crimson Mask starting to fall from the head of Abel Therron as Crimson bounces him off. 1, 2, Steven stunned on the outside, but Therron dug down deep, able to kick out at 2. Lighting up the Dream with kicks, but Steven's there, and Renee saw him coming though. Excellent awareness by Crimson. Drags Steven down to the mat. He's got that submission locked in deep. I think Therron's still stunned in the corner there. Can Steven hold through until Therron can break this up? Oh, Steven got that elbow loose, cracks into the jaw of Renee's Crimson. That was a long time though spent in that submission. Renee's looking for additional weapon. We've got another kendo stick by Crimson now. And just cracks Joyce across the chest with that. It rolls out the way though, kick, and that kendo stick went absolutely flying. Jumps off, oh, but knocked down by Crimson, who does look like he's grabbing his leg there though. DDT drives Steven Joyce down into the mat. Rolls to the outside to recover, but excellent opportunity for Therron. Can he do it? Is Ren down? No, Ren kicks out at 2. Resilience of Renee's Crimson still keeping this match alive. Oh, what does Steven have in mind? Gesturing to the crowd for silence. Snuck up on Therron, sends him into the corner. Oh, but Renee's capitalizing. And down goes Steven, rolling out the ring. Therron's right there. Sling blade by the Dream. Both men now trying to fight over the prone body of Renee's Crimson, not quite able to reach. Giant elbow and super kick by Crimson. He's got the bat in his own hands now and laying in some punishment down onto the Dream. Took a little too long to savor that. Steven there capitalizing. And look at that. Oh, Steven grabbing his own back though. Oh, this could be it. Dream still down. 1, 2. Oh, kicks out at 2. 2.999. Steven Joyce still not quite able to do it. Renee's Crimson just too resilient. But that took a lot out of Crimson. That may have been everything he had left. Spinning elbow by Renee, so he's back in and slam. Down goes Crimson. Steven barely back to his feet. Can he get up in time to break the pin? Barely. Therron had that. He had Renee's number, and there's the hat slam. Steven Joyce with the hat slam. Is he going to go for the pinfall? He's considering it. Which opponent to go for? No, he is not yet done. I think he has his eyes on that steel chair. Steven did not feel like either opponent was going to go down for the 3. Oh, we had a joust there. Steel chair versus kendo stick. Crimson got the better of it. And that may well do it. Lariat sent Therron down. Renee has something vicious in mind. Over we go. And down with the pile driver. But there's Steven. Oh, a little too early, but still knocked it off enough to break the pinfall up. Can Steven capitalize? Are we going to see another hat slam? Oh, Steven going up to the top. Going old school is Steven Joyce. Dropped Renese's back right onto that steel chair. Knee to the arm. Therron's back up. Therron now gesturing for silence from the crowd. He has something in mind. And giant DDT by Therron. Ren rolls to the outside. Is this going to do it? Reps in position. 1, 2. Can he do it? No, Steven powers out at 2. Neither of these competitors can keep any of the other two down for the full 3. Vicious, vicious match here. None of them willing to give up. Crimson now back in, blocked by the Dream. Steven rolling to the outside for a bit of recovery. Can Therron capitalize? He's going for it. Is this going to, can that keep Crimson down? And he did it. Therron finally gets them down. Steven was not able to recover in time on the outside. Renee's Crimson finally going down for that 3 count. We saw Crimson's Lionheart pile driver there, almost ending the match. But there he is. No amount of heart lost for the Dream, Abel Therron. He is ready to send everyone else overboard and free himself of a path to once again hold all the clout. We're going to take a minute to recover from that match. Remember, both Soul Clout Championships on the line later on tonight. The unpredictable Steve Sparks and the Chromatic Druid Glix defending their championships in our co-main event. But for right now, we're taking a quick break. We'll be back with more hard-hitting, clout-chasing action after this. Hi, I'm Captain Turiant Guidel, most dashingly handsome pirate in all of Minnesota, and the Clout Missioner of all Influencer Wrestling. As a swashbuckling pirate, I know a thing or two about hats. And sometimes, even I feel the hats I own are just too big. So when I feel the need for minuscule millinery, there's only one place that comes to mind. TinyHatLabs.com. Tiny Hat Labs have always sought to push the boundaries of what's possible in client engagement millinery feedback solutions. Their guiding question remains the same today as it was when they were founded. What if small hat, but tiny? Operating at the nexus of science, engineering, artificial intelligence, art, fashion and design, Tiny Hat Labs seeks to pave the way to a paradigm shift in headpiece technology. While others ask, how much? TinyHatLabs.com asks, how little? I'm Captain Turiant Guidel, and TinyHatLabs.com is my favourite place for hats on the internet. Welcome back, and if you thought that last match was hard-hitting, do I have something for you right now?
The following is an Extreme Rules match. Making her way to the ring from Sin City, Banshee.
The rivalry between Banshee and Saria Violet has been heating up week over week over week, to the point where now mere regular matches will not do. They have had each other's number time and time again. So it is time for this rivalry to get extreme. Extreme Rules match between these two. There are no rules. Pinfalls, submissions can occur anywhere. Everything is legal in this match. Weaponry, anything they can get their hands on to brutalize and bloody their opponent. This is surely the fever pitch between these two heated rivals. And there she is, the Sun Soul Monk, Saria Violet, an expert in weapons. You argue that maybe this match type does perhaps favor Saria with her martial artist background and expertise in multiple weapon disciplines, but Banshee has proven time and time again she is a sneaky, opportunistic competitor. And with anything and everything on the table, or possibly even through it, Banshee not someone to be underestimated in this type of match. And look at that, Banshee just gesturing, come at me towards Violet. And Banshee immediately getting the upper hand. Quick strikes and a double drop kick sends Saria down to the mat. Wrenching the arm, trying to take out the striking offense. Though as we have learned repeatedly, the legs of Violet just as dangerous as the arms. A new maneuver. I don't think we've seen Banshee really break this one out before. Trying to drive her leg deep into the throat of Saria Violet, cut off that oxygen supply. But Violet able to power her way out and now in control. Not able quite to knock Banshee though off the rope. That's going to do it though. Watching and waiting. Allowed Banshee to get back into the ring and clubbing blow to the back of the spine, though Banshee able to get a quick kick in there and reverse that momentum. And again, the limb manipulation, trying to snap the finger of Saria Violet. And down she goes. Oh, Banshee escaping to the outside and going for weapons early on in the match. And going right there with the sledgehammer. Going immediately for the most damaging thing she could find. Saria not wanting to give a moment chance for Banshee to go for that though. And going right for the sledgehammer herself and driving it right into the shoulder and just mimicking the pose from Banshee earlier. Right, that I swear went into the skull of Banshee. Saria is laying that hammer in. Banshee able to recover, but that was a lot of damage there. Takedown by Saria, but kept up by Banshee, showing that she is still very much in, she is very much ready. And call Saria Peter Gabriel, because she has gone right back for that sledgehammer. Banshee having none of it, she's already seen more than enough of that. Oh, duck out of the way, strikes to the back of the legs. And there, as I told you earlier, the legs of Saria Violet just as deadly as the arms. And that is it. Brutal sledgehammer attack by Saria Violet. The damage that was done to Banshee during that onslaught was just too much. We already, as you could I think hear there, the medical staff are ready to pick the bones Violet. Of Banshee up off of that mat. A dominant dominant victory there by Saria Violet. Is that going to be it? Is that Saria finally putting Banshee in her rearview mirror? That is going to take some recovering from. And you have to wonder now after that, what comes next for the Sun Soul Monk, Saria Violet? But from Violet to violence, as we are back next with 3-team tornado tag action. Can the Deadly Duo continue their run of form, or will they run into the wall of meat that is RBFS or our mystery third team? We'll find out after these short messages.
Luz tried everything to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Hammers, axes, magic, saws, more magic, fire, even more magic, and magic explosions. Still, the door refused her. Why? After all this time and effort, why wouldn't the damn thing open? Sure, it was an enchanted door that would open the path to a potentially catastrophic amount of magic pouring back into the universe, causing endless natural disasters that would drown or bury most cities from existence. But there was an equally high chance that wouldn't happen, and that the magic had been sealed away by ignorant fools for nothing. She had to believe there was a reason why she could tap into a sliver of the magic locked behind the door. That this was it, her singular life purpose. Open the door, restore its magic back to everyone like it used to be in the stories, where anyone could use magic, for good or bad. That had to be it, right? That had to be why she was standing here, in the door's pocket dimension, on a small plot of Earth, large enough for only one person to stand in front of it, swearing at this void-black door with iridescent veins flowing along its surface like water, living, taunting her to just open it already. So why was it so hard to swing the damn thing wide? Somehow, she had shoved the door apart just a crack ages ago. A thin, wispy line of light seeped out of a seam down the centre. Whenever she used teleportation magic, as she had decided to call it since she didn't know the correct term and hadn't seen others use it before, probably because it was dangerous and required sliding through space and time, but who was counting? She tapped into a sliver of warmth and power to travel wherever she wished. She'd managed that slight opening unthinking as a child, then never again. What was she doing wrong now? Worse, what if she wasn't doing anything wrong? What if this door wasn't meant to open for her after all? What else could there be for her but this? After everything, after all that searching, what else could there be?
This has been an extract from The Void Door by V.M. Ayala. To read the full story, please visit beneath-ceaseless-skies.com and search for issue 378. And thank you for watching Masterpiece Theatre.
Welcome back to the promised Tornado Tag Team Triple Threat. Here they are, the Deadly Duo. Beautiful Bob and Handsome Hank proving this season that they are more than just a pretty face. More than just two pretty faces even.
The following contest is a triple threat tag team match On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 428 pounds.
The Dastardly Duo, a team name which one day I will get right. Bob and Hank. Been tearing a path of absolute destruction here through all influencer wrestling in this season. They have survived multiple brutal contests. This, though, may well be their toughest one yet. A new configuration.
Of 998 pounds, the Monsters.
Leaving their other brother backstage this time, Reinhardt and Frederico. 2/3 of RBFS. They make their way down to the ring. So much meat, even the sound system can't handle it. Benny, of course, the brother more suited for singles contest. Reinhardt and Freddy out here, ready for duos action.
Here we go.
And here he comes.
And from Authority Megacorp HQ, weighing in at 275 pounds, GP.
Looking to play spoiler for the Dastardly Duo. That $signed chest hair of the golden ticket making his way down to the ring. Looking to, I suspect, capitalize on the rivalry between these other two teams that has shown up over the last couple of weeks. But who in the entire locker room would be willing to team with a man like the Golden Ticket? He's certainly got the money to throw around, but who has the lack of morals to team with the Golden Ticket?
Representing the
Of
Syndicate
course.
from New York, weighing in at 220 pounds.
If he had a soul, the Golden Ticket has sold it. Throwing his lot in with Al G Rhythm, the associate, the lackey of metrics. When you thought the Golden Ticket could not sink any lower. No loyalty though between this team. The camaraderie between the Dastardly Duo and the brothers of RBFS. There is only money, only the algorithm keeping this team together. How will that play out within this match? Both of these men were large powerhouses. This is not a great situation for the Dastardly Duo. Tornado tag rules, though. All 6 competitors are legal in the match at all times. Ticket immediately trying to punch his way out of the match, and the rest of the field absolutely not having that. A situation that maybe we could have all seen coming. RBFS are dominant, standing tall over the rest of the field though. And we've immediately gone for the steel steps. I don't know which brother that is because I can't see the tie. That I believe is Frederico who is carrying those steps around. Immediately jumping into things as Algae Rhythm is just bench pressing Hank. There they are, standing tall. RBFS, Reinhardt, Benedict, Frederico Securities. Dominating, but as Frederico is busy on the outside with Hank, it looks like the other, I keep forgetting which brother is which. And look at the athleticism there, though. In they go. Keep all action continuing to remain inside the ring, and we may be in a rough situation there. Rough situation for Algae Rhythm, but Hank there capitalized. Oh, and Ticket over the top rope. The ref just desperately trying to stay out of the way. Ticket barely hanging on, but able to recover and just taunting the rest of the field. Oh, and a little bit of actual teamwork there between Ticket and Al. But once again, the Minotaur brothers standing tall. The incredible athleticism of Reinhardt on display as the legs of Bob being broken by Frederico there on the outside. Bit of a shimmy there by Hank as he fires up to light up one of the Minotaur brothers in the middle of the ring. And down he goes, but Ticket and Rhythm are waiting to capitalize. Down we go. And over goes Bob. Algae Rhythm, though, getting gold, and we love to see it. Oh, the Dastardly Duo maybe have an opportunity to shift the tide in their favor. There goes Bob. Oh, and going for the pinfall. Oh, he can take out one of RBFS, but no, not even a 1 count. And we love to see it. Look at the audience there, happily getting the phone video of Golden Ticket getting choked out. But he is able to fight his way back out. Bob on the outside. And once again, it's RBFS standing tall. Hank got the head scissors around. And big swinging DDT. I think Algae Rhythm may be almost out on his feet. Able to recover though, broke up that pinfall attempt. And Hank able to wriggle out of that maneuver there by Rhythm. Sends him into the ropes and over and cracks down onto the knee. And then tried to go for a suplex on Frederico. Bold move. It's the Dastardly Duo now in control, but no, we got the suplex and not letting go. We're gone for a second and still got those arms locked in around the waist. 3. Hank rolling out and almost took that dive there, but managed to duck out of the way just in time. Dastardly Duo trying to reunite on the side over here. Very sensible maneuvering. But now they are both down, and it's RBFS back in control. And just showboating there by Algae Rhythm. Ticket, meanwhile, over on the side by himself. He's been letting this play out as he takes a moment to recover. And we love to see it right into a fist by Handsome Hank. But here we have it once again. Double maneuver RBFS. Those brothers are the dominant force in this match. Nothing can stand in their way. And the back of Beautiful Bob cracked over the knee of Algae Rhythm, but who is now in a 2-on-1 situation. Again, we see the athleticism of Reinhardt there, rolling through and charging, lighting up once again Algae Rhythm. Ticket now, the one man back in the ring, back on his feet. Biding his time, waiting for his opportunity. And that's not the opportunity he was looking for. Got taken advantage of by Handsome Hank. Showboating there by Bob. That might bite him in the... No, he's actually able to bait in like a red, or in this case, vibrant purple flag to a bull. And able to break the charge there. The Dastardly Duo now standing tall. Can they do it again? Will they go 3 for 3? Whilst there, of course, are no countouts, no disqualifications in this match type, the pinfall submission does have to happen in the ring. At some point, this action will have to leave the deck side and will need to get back into the center. Oh, what does Ticket have in mind? Lighting up Bob on the outside. And there it is. I mentioned he had to get back into the ring. Ticket might be the... No, he's trying to go for one of RBFS. Reinhardt, that one was. And that gave Bob more than enough time to recover and making his way back out and then back in. Half the field, and over he goes, slam down. He's going for that pinfall. Can he do it? They did it! The Dastardly Duo have done it again! Beautiful Bob punched the golden ticket for victory. The Dastardly Duo, 3 for 3. What a showcase. And looking at Reinhardt there, I almost get the feeling that RBFS might have thrown that purely for humiliation factor towards the golden ticket. We saw him there, Reinhardt celebrating almost next to that pinfall attempt. They were just happy to see golden ticket get his comeuppance. The dominance of the Dastardly Duo continues. What a match. What a showcase. We are far from done though with the team-based action. We'll be right back as we get ready to move into our co-main events, but we've got one more showcase for you right after this. Suplex the train! Himbo power! Come on. Need to pop more potions. Meteor strike! Oh, I can't suplex it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can suplex a train, but I can't suplex an octopus. And here is our octopus friendo. Can I suplex an octopus? Nope. Can't suplex an octopus, turns out. Too slippery. Can I suplex Ultima Weapon? So we're going to start chucking some shuriken. I can suplex Ultima Weapon. Come on, we're so close. Lift, come on, Sabin. Come on. Suplex! Boom! Hippo power! Wait, oh, fight is now an option. I'm sorry, I have a baseball bat? Oh, hold on, you're smoking. And we are back, making their way down to face a team that... Wait, what? Well, we were scheduled to have the Dangerous Alliance take on the team of Fenris and Lucette Forrester, two stars who have had very much the rise going on right now, but that's Amber Warren and Victoria Holland. Warren and Holland both have crossed paths with the Dangerous Alliance recently. And apparently have decided, no, they are taking the place in this match, taking down both Fenris and Forrester. We're just going to roll with this. The Dangerous Alliance now taking on Victoria Holland and Amber Warren. We have medical staff now checking on Fenris and Forrester backstage. A message very much sent to the Dangerous Alliance here by this team of Warren and Victoria Holland. Up and over and down. Both members of the Dangerous Alliance not having the greatest of luck of late. And that string of bad luck looks like it is going to continue. Victoria Holland has been on a dominant tear this season, and with a 2 count almost took out Calypso Dominguez. Calypso, though, able to struggle back, but is in a dangerous predicament. Took that blow to the back of the head by Amber Warren. And look at the teamwork of these two. What does Holland have in mind here? This is going to be vicious and crashing down as Calypso is draped on the ring apron, whilst there is a waiting Amber Warren on the outside to take advantage. Holland turning our attention to Teresa Dominguez. This is a statement being sent by these two. as Calypso desperately makes that tag over to her sister, but all she takes is a running clothesline for her trouble. Whilst they may have not had the greatest of luck this season thus far in All-Influencer Wrestling, this nonetheless is a rarity. We have not seen the Dangerous Alliance this thoroughly dominated throughout any time in their history in the promotion thus far. And just the kiss, and down goes Teresa. Tag is made. Amber Warren now the legal competitor. Teresa's back on her feet and waiting. Charges in, knee strike to Warren. Goes back for the tap. Calypso Dominguez now legal once again. Over the rope. I think she was trying to bounce Calypso off the rope there, but Calypso not able to hold her own momentum, to where that went very wide by Warren, and that may have been a mistake that is going to allow the Dangerous Alliance to get back into the game here. Driving Warren down into the mat. Teresa now in control. Goes for the pinfall, but there's Victoria Holland right there to play spoiler. Calypso coming in to try and take advantage, but simply out-muscled by Victoria Holland. Referee clears the ring. We still have Amber Warren and Teresa Dominguez as the legal competitors. Teresa trying to take a moment to get rid of Victoria, but opened up to a shoulder check by Amber Warren. I am being told by other members of the crew that this team, Amber Warren and Victoria Holland, they call themselves The Circle. Both very familiar with each other from their time on the New York indie circuit, as are really all four competitors in this match. The Dominguez sisters, of course, very familiar with each other, being, as I said, sisters, but nonetheless veterans of the New York indie scene, as are both Warren and Holland. And up. And look at that delayed suplex by Amber Warren. The sheer power on display right now. One-handed as well. Just disrespectful. Tried to go for the pinfall, but Teresa easily able to break that. What does Warren have in mind now? Got tired waiting for Calypso to get back to her feet. And, oh, thought we were going for a neck breaker, but just note blow to the back of the spine. And wrenching the neck back. Look at the position of the knee there. That is a lot of torque on the spine of Calypso, but Teresa able to come in. Blow breaks up that submission attempt. And what is Warren doing to Teresa? And sends her down, crashing. Victoria Holland now the legal competitor, and I don't know if either of the Dominguez sisters even realizes. Victoria Holland taking it to the mat, getting very technical now with Teresa. Calypso, though, still the legal competitor. Finally able to get her way back into the ring. Oh, and catches Victoria Holland with a cutter over the rope. And just the disrespect there by Calypso. Look at that maneuver. Working her taunt into that double axe blow down. Victoria Holland goes. Oh, dodges the blow though by Teresa, and again managed to send Calypso off the rope, but she's able to pop right back up again. Victoria now in a bit of a dangerous position. Reversal from earlier in the match, now trapped between the Dominguez sisters. But Warren is still up on that apron. Oh, and there we have Victoria Holland fighting back, and down goes Teresa, and now Warren, legal competitor once again. Over the top. Oh, and excellent maneuvering there by Teresa. She absolutely baited Amber Warren into that. Darted around. And there's Calypso sending now the damaged Amber back into the ring. Giant punch. Oh, and what does Teresa have in mind? We're seeing now that fluidity, the tag team expertise of the Dangerous Alliance. Is this going to do it? 1, 2. No. Amber Warren kicks out. Warren kicks out. Liquid tag team wrestling by the Dangerous Alliance, but it is not enough to keep Warren down for the 3. Here we go, and using her sister as a missile, Calypso goes hurtling towards Amber Warren. Amber though, Victoria, fresh, cracking the spine of Calypso into the turnbuckle. Incredible powerhouse is Victoria Holland. Leg drop across the chest of Calypso. Calypso fighting out. I'm hearing from our medical staff backstage too. Fenris and Lucette are recovering. They will be fine. But both, after that vicious beatdown by the Circle earlier, have entered into concussion protocol. Neither will be in action for the rest of the night. You have to imagine, though, that those two are not going to take this lightly. This was their opportunity to go against the Dangerous Alliance. And oh my God, look at the sheer arrogance, the disrespect of Victoria Holland there, just sitting on the chest of Teresa Dominguez for the pinfall. A giant splash from the top rope. Calypso able to get back into it in time, but were it not for Calypso's speed there, that had to have been it. Multiple tag teams forming, we have seen in the women's division, trying to get an eye on those Sold Clout tag titles held by Candied Ginger. Dangerous Alliance, one of our more dominant teams historically, but they have had multiple attempts at those titles, and I think the Circle are here trying to prove that they're the ones who deserve that shot next. After this performance, it's hard to argue with that. Took a good ring awareness there by Teresa. She knew if she didn't reposition Holland, those long limbs were easily going to reach the rope break. Unfortunately, took too long. Warren easily able to break up the pinfall attempt. Calypso tried to go for a DDT there against Victoria Holland, but she was just too powerful for her. Just threw her across the ring and back elbow. Holland's now back in control, and all technique, all finesse be damned. Just pounding Calypso into the mat. Calypso able to power through. And over she goes. Warren is down. Can the Dangerous Alliance capitalize? Can they get this done? Tag in. Double team maneuvering, and over goes Warren. Impressive height. Teresa Dominguez now the legal competitor. Crack down goes Amber Warren. Victoria Holland, though, is waiting right there to play spoiler. What does Teresa have in mind? And down right into the mat goes the face of Amber Warren. Teresa, though, needed to have taken care of Victoria Holland first. Unable to capitalize. And Teresa is angry. Look at those kicks. She has had it. She is baiting Holland, telling her to get back up so I can kick you again. That, though, gave Amber Warren the time she needed to recover on the outside. Cracks the arm of Teresa Dominguez. And again, down we go, but I think Calypso might be ready to do this. Oh, Calypso didn't make it in time, but she didn't need to. Teresa dug down deep and somehow was able to get that shoulder up before the 3 count. Takes advantage of that shift in momentum and a desperately needed tag out to Calypso. Oh, but she's going to regret that. Sent right over the top rope with that running clothesline by Amber. Turning her attention to Teresa now, trying to knock her down. Just a quick blow. Oh no, this is going to hurt. Crack the spine of Teresa, bouncing off the hardest part of the ring. Vicious assault by Warren. Calypso getting payback, sends Warren cracking into the ring post. Warren says no. Chop to the chest of Calypso. But Calypso bounces her off the announce table. Back into the ring, Teresa able to recover. Bolt over the top by Calypso. Warren in a dangerous position. And here we go, tag made. Teresa now back in and clubbing fist to the ribs of Amber Warren. And Teresa's had enough too. Just no finesse, no fancy techniques, just punches. And now trying to choke out Amber Warren. But Victoria Holland there playing spoiler. And again, able to break up the pinfall attempt. Teresa going to the middle rope. What does she have in mind? Waiting for Amber to get back up, and double kick right to the chest of Amber Warren, and tag Calypso, now the legal competitor. Drop kick blocked by Warren. Bouncing Calypso's head off the corner post there, and now double team offense by the Circle. Crash down goes the spine of Calypso Dominguez. And up And crack over the knee, now the gut. Oh, rolled just out of the way. That dangerous punch of Victoria Holland making connection with nothing but Matt. Going back for the tag again. Teresa Dominguez legal once again. Quick successional tags by the Dangerous Alliance. That's what they got to do to get that momentum going. But a charge by Holland says absolutely no. Spinning back elbow though by Teresa, and again there it is, quick tag. Not letting the other team get momentum up against either one of them. Trying to keep each other as fresh as possible, spread out the damage this deep into the match. Good tag team strategy by the Dangerous Alliance, but is it going to be enough? Tag made, Warren now legal. Shoulder tackle to Teresa, sending her down to the outside. And somehow managed to change direction enough to take down Calypso. Locking in the figure 4 leg lock on the outside. Won't be able to get the submission victory out there, but weakening the legs of Calypso even further. Cracking off the ship siding. And the back of the head now off that wooden ship side as well. Turns her attention back to Teresa. Rolls back into the ring as the ref's count reaches 7. And going back again, sending that spine of Teresa off the side of the ring apron. Who takes the opportunity to shoulder tackle down Amber Warren. Now we saw that Calypso, there's no point calling for silence. Oh, but vintage Samoa Joe style. Walk out the way of the dive. Warren sends Calypso back into the ring. Both of their teammates down for the count. Oh, no, Teresa back on her feet as Warren waits on the top rope and shifts from... I thought she was going for a moonsault, but no, just went for the punch and rope break by Calypso. Can Warren get this done? Sends Calypso back over to her team's corner, going for the double team tag, I think, with Victoria Holland. And yep, there it is. I think Calypso is about to go for... Oh, no, she's not going flying this time. Oh, this is going to... Oh, no. The weight of Victoria Holland came crashing down onto the spine of Calypso whilst suspended between Amber Warren and the mid rope there. And then she goes back up to the top and splash, but she rolled out the way. Calypso desperately trying to bring in Teresa, but both Dominguez sisters are severely damaged at this point. Remember, Teresa has taken that ring apron crash twice now. Her spine must be absolutely on fire. Warren going for the submission. A giant choke out. Calypso coming to the aid of Teresa there. Don't think it was actually necessary. Teresa seems to have this one in hand. Wrenches the leg and over goes Amber Warren. It rolls through. Blocked that charge. Teresa, Victoria Holland still down on the outside. This is the best opportunity the Dangerous Alliance have had and may be likely to get. They're rising back up on the outside. Holland is back to her feet. That very, very narrow window of opportunity may just have closed for the Dangerous Alliance. Tag made. Calypso legal, and now Calypso's chance to go for that gut strike. Rolls through, tried to choke out Amber, but simply too tall. Those long legs of Amber Warren able to reach for the rope break. Draping knee by Calypso Dominguez. Into the corner goes Warren, and kick to the face. Calypso now going to the bottom rope. And going back again, mid-rope this time for the moonsault. Is she going to go all the way up to the top? She is. Third in a row. Triple moonsault by Calypso Dominguez. Still only a 2. Amber Warren will not stay down. That took maybe everything Calypso had left. Needs to tag in Teresa. And again, going for that choke out. Calypso had to get him to break that up. And splash down goes Calypso for her troubles. This is not a situation we see often. Look at that. Both members of the Dangerous Alliance laid out at once. Victoria Holland has the absolute pick of the ring right now. Crashed into the ref though, and down with that shoulder check. And that is it. The Circle making their statement. Arriving with dominant fashion, Victoria Holland, Amber Warren, picked apart the Dangerous Alliance. Again, this match was scheduled to be between the Dangerous Alliance and the newly thrown together team of Lucette Forrester and Fenris, who wanted to try their hands at chasing tag clout here. The Circle were having absolutely none of it. That is a dominant performance, and something the Dangerous Alliance are not going to forget anytime soon. What a match. Hard-hitting violence throughout. We are going to clear the ring. We're going to continue checking on Forrester and Fenris, but for right now, the first of our co-main events is up next. Both Sold Clout Championships are on the line. Our newly minted Sold Clout Champion Steve Sparks in his first title defense. Will he retain that clout, or will it be Avric Brightmoon, who stands as tall as a halfling can at the end of the night? We'll find out after these short messages. Hi. I'm Captain Tyriant Guidel, most dashingly handsome pirate in all of Loomsla and the Clout Missioner of all Influencer Wrestling. As a swashbuckling pirate, I know a thing or two about hats. And sometimes, even I feel the hats I own are just too big. So when I feel the need for minuscule millinery, there's only one place that comes to mind. TinyHatLabs.com. Tiny Hat Labs have always sought to push the boundaries of what's possible in client engagement millinery feedback solutions. Their guiding question remains the same today as it was when they were founded. What if small hat, but tiny? Operating at the nexus of science, engineering, artificial intelligence, art, fashion and design, Tiny Hat Labs seeks to pave the way to a paradigm shift in headpiece technology. While others ask, how much? TinyHatLabs.com asks, how little? I'm Captain Tyriant Guidel, and TinyHatLabs.com is my favourite place for hats on the internet. Welcome back. Let's get this going.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the prestigious Internet Championship.
Here he comes, hailing all the way from Amon in Exandria. The pint-sized paladin, Avric Brightmoon, accompanied by his childhood friends. The size difference there, Avric and Ashapal making their way down, and there we see him in the background, Tiff, who was teamed with Avric last week, earning their way into this match when Tiff and Avric defeated Steve Sparks and the Phantom in tag action. Avric, being the one to pin Sparks for the victory, earned him this shot tonight. Tiff and Ashapal showing out to support their longtime friend. There will be a celebration back in the locker room tonight if he can get it done. Asha clearing the ring. There's Asha and Tiff waiting by, towering over their diminutive friend, but here they are. Sparks bringing the Phantom down to the ring with him as additional insurance. Something very wrong with the sound system tonight. We're really going to have to get that checked into. I do apologize, but you don't need music to see the intensity of this team making their way down to the ring. Sparks, that Sold Clout Championship around his waist. He has yet to defend it since bringing an end to the dream of Abel Therron. Will his reign be galvanized, or will he be smited by the Paladin of Serenray? As we know, that clout is what it's all about.
Introducing the challenger from parts unknown, weighing in at 169 pounds, Rage.
Ball of anger
And his
is
opponent
Avric.
from Minnesota, weighing in at 268 pounds. He is the prestigious Internet Champion, Steve Unpredictable Sparks.
There he is, the unpredictable Steve Sparks, a moniker he has more than lived up to over his time here in All Influencer Wrestling. And there it is, handing it over to the ref, showing it to Avric. They know that is what it is all about here. All about the clout. Of course, not everybody can be a clout chaser themselves. Not everyone can get inside that squared circle. But if you want to have some clout adorning your body as well, you can visit shop.tyrians.com for all your all-influencer wrestling merchandise needs. We got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got shower curtains, we've got leggings, we've got the lot. Shop.tyrians.com. Visit it today. Avric, meanwhile, coming out the gate strong. Down goes Sparks. Knee to the face. Sparks, though, able to send Avric off that rope. Ducks under. And boot to the gut. Sends him over, getting pumped. Avric, though, right back on his feet. And plants Sparks down there. Trying to go for the early pinfall, but only a 2 count. Not surprising, it's going to take a lot more than that to keep Steve Sparks down. Counters Fate, driving the face of Avric into a double knee. And over he goes, snap suplex by Steve Sparks. kicking into the back of the head of Brightmoon. Needs a little assistance there, trying to use the rope to pull himself up, but Sparks is right there. Gut into the corner. Looks like Tiff and the Phantom may be getting into an altercation on the outside there. Usher pulling Tiff back, not wanting to get ejected from ringside. Sparks in control, limb manipulation, wrenching the arm of Brightmoon back. Lighting him up with those quick rapid-fire punches, ducked under a clothesline attempt. Avric not having a great time of it in this match thus far. Sparks repositioning him closer to the center of the ring. And there we go, he's going for, there it is, Sharpshooter is locked in right in the middle of the ring. Nowhere for Brightmoon to go. Wrenches it back deeper, lots of torque on that spine, but Brightmoon able to power out, but he was in that for a while. That is going to have led to a fair bit of damage. Sends Sparks up and down. Tiff on the outside, absolutely thrilled about that. Goes for the pinfall. Kicks out at 2. Gonna take more than that to keep the unpredictable Sparks down. Avric, vaulted out of that suplex attempt. Crack. Sparks down. He's getting hyped up. He's charging up. Knee to the face, trying to bring his opponent down to his level. And lighting up the gut of Sparks. And charge spear to Sparks. Is that going to do it? I think he's done it! Full balls, he actually did it. Out of absolutely nowhere, and there it is, the move that ended it, the Spear of Serenray. Avric Brightmoon playing spoiler puts a very unpredictable end to the reign of Steve Sparks. If anyone was expecting a long-term reign after the dominance of Abel Therron, that is not what you are going to see. It is going to be a party back in the locker room tonight. Avric Brightmoon standing as tall as a 3-foot halfling can, raising the Soul Cloud Championship above his head as Tiff and Usher celebrate on the outside. It is a good night for the Emon Orphans tonight here at All Influencer Wrestling. What an upset. And as a reminder, that was only the first match. That was only the first of our co-main event tonight. Glix is also up in action next. The Chromatic Radiant Druid Glix, our Soul Cloud champion also for a very long time now, defends the belt against the embattled Battlestar Galactica. We will be right back with that after these quick messages. Do not go anywhere.
残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ青い風が今胸のドアを叩いても私だけをただ見つめて微笑んでるあなた
We're back, let's go.
The following contest is scheduled for
Do we have another
and is
upset
for
ready for us?
the prestigious Internet Championship.
The challenger entering first. Here she comes. It has been a long road for Battlestar Galactica to get to this point. Battlestar finally making her way back to the title picture after being derailed for so very, very long by metrics. We saw earlier, just a couple of weeks ago, Team Tankmain, Battlestar, and Cinneas teaming up to take out Metrics and Algae Rhythm. We have not seen Metrics since. We don't know what she is planning. We don't know where she has gone. We saw the golden ticket teaming up with Algae Rhythm earlier tonight. We have taken as many precautions as possible to prevent interference in this matchup tonight, however. We have swept the ring for bugs. We have tried to fill the arena with EMPs. We have done all we can to avoid Metrics interfering in Battlestar's match tonight. Even without that, though, there is a hard road ahead of her, and it's shaped like Glix. Early in the history of All Influencer Wrestling, Glix claimed that Sold Clout Championship from Michaela Lane, our inaugural champion. And she has held it ever since. Will Battlestar put an end to Glix's reign tonight? Or will our dauntless druid once again keep the clout?
Introducing the challenger from Valhalla, the Tank. And her opponent from Chroma City, she is the prestigious Internet Champion, the Superstar.
Glix has had that clout for so long, we've almost forgotten what it looks like for her not to have that title around her waist or over her shoulder. Battlestar, though, desperately wants that clout. And we're off. There has been months of frustration, months of torment to get to this point. This is the opportunity that Battlestar was denied due to metrics. And she is coming strong out of the gate. Not letting go of the hand of Glix, pulling her up, and another clothesline, 3 in a row. Boot to the spine. We know there has been a history of back issues with Battlestar themselves, seemingly trying to even the field there a little bit. We got that spin around, trying to disorient Glix. And boot to the thigh. We've seen many a match be ended by that dangerous spinning roundhouse kick of Glix's. Battlestar seemingly trying to take maybe out that weapon, and another spin, trying to keep Glix unbalanced, keep her off her feet. And look at that awareness of Battlestar, knowing that, predicting that Glix was going to try to roll to the outside, rolled ahead and was waiting for her. Oh, but got a little cocky, a little overconfident, and Glix there to make her pay for it. Over she goes, and Glix not letting go. Big suplex. Look at the torque on that. Battlestar went spinning as a result of that clothesline by Glix. And a definite shift in momentum in this match now. Glix destroying Battlestar on the outside. Working over the fingers. And double knee to the spine. As I said, that problematic spine of Battlestar Galactica. Sends it back into the ring. Wait, and trying to, I think maybe tried to bait Battlestar into a both now trying to bait each other into diving off. And there's that hip check by Glix. Giant clothesline cracking into the chest of Battlestar. Rolls back in. Both now taunting each other. And over the rope she goes. And down over the knee again, working over the back, trying to take advantage of that weakness of Battlestar. What does Glix have in mind now? Up and dropping the guts over that solid wooden ship siding. That is going to leave a bruise. Sends Battlestar back into the ring. Rolls in herself, bringing the action back in, breaking that referee's count. And Battlestar going back to the well again, grasping onto the wrist of Glix. Going back to that triple clothesline. Down it goes. Hyping up. And eats a slam for her troubles. Is that going to do it? 1, 2. No, Val kicks out at 2. Not enough, but that was a dangerous situation for Battlestar right there. Kicks by Glix. And up and over goes Val. And just putting the boot in. What does Glix have in mind now? We may be gearing up for that dangerous roundhouse. We've seen it end so many a match before. Val had it countered, spinning back fist. Elbow drop by Battlestar. Takes that moment to pose though. That's the problem with being a streamer. Always chasing that crowd reaction. And big again clothesline. Battlestar going arse over tea kettle there as a result of that. Glix now getting hyped up in the middle of the ring. Over she goes and lands right onto the shoulders of Battlestar. Counter though. Rolls over, delivers a couple of elbows to the face of Glix. Sends Glix back into the ring. Got Val on the ropes. And counter though, there's that back elbow again. Battlestar now in control and hoisting Glix up. Look at that. Try to wrench the arm out of the socket. That did a lot of damage to the left arm of Glix. Crashing into the corner. Elbow. What does Battlestar have in mind? Going up to the mid rope and corkscrew dive. Is that going to do it? Is that going to be it? 1, 2. Shoulder up at 2.5. Battlestar almost had it, but Glix too resilient. We see that druidic magic. Teleportation. That is Glix's Misty Step. Over she goes, up onto the shoulders. And there it is. Good night, Battlestar. 1, 2. Is that going to do it? That has done it. Glix, the druidic magic coming through once again. pulls it
Here is your
through.
winner, and still prestigious Internet Champion, the Superstar.
Glix holds on. Only one title change tonight, a valiant effort by Battlestar. I suspect possibly too focused on the risk of other interference, was not prepared for the innate magical abilities of Glix herself. And that teleportation into the go to sleep. We once again see Glix hold on to that championship. Glix, of course, will be keeping now a very, very close eye on the field for the Overboard Royal Rumble match to determine her future competitor for that. What a brutal match set we had tonight. However, we saw the Dastardly Duwu manage to somehow pull a victory out once again. We've seen the formation of the Circle, tearing apart the Dangerous Alliance, seemingly with eyes on Candied Ginger. And we have a new Sold Clout champion in Avric Brightmoon. Keep all eyes on the Clout, and we will see you back next week for the last episode before Overboard. Our go-home show for that will have a lot of interesting maneuvering as we go into that premium live event, I am certain. I have been Captain Tyrion Guidel, I've been the Clout Missioner, and as always, remember, stay #out for Clout. Good night.